Hey everybody, it is Elson932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. I feel like I just saw you a moment ago. It was just earlier we did unsolicited advice, but we are here for Love is Blind Brazil Season 5. Never too late for love. This is for those over 50. So y'all please make sure before we get into it, make sure you hit that like, you are subscribed, okay? Leave comments below about this live because we're covering episodes 1 through 4. The over 50s. I have to say, Brazil, I started off this channel with Love is Blind Brazil Season 4, and with Season 5, you don't disappoint. Brazil has been very innovative in this Love is Blind space, and now they are pushing it again by having the seniors, okay? Over 50. We love it because everybody should be open and available for love, okay? Glad to see you, Sam. Glad to have you here. We have Ari as well. And Munira, who said hello to everyone in the chat. Glad to see you, Munira. Glad that life has allowed you to join us today. So we're going to talk about these seniors, okay? We're going to talk about, and there's no age, whatever, with me when I say seniors. They are my elders, okay? They are over 50, even though I'm not that much far from 50, but, they are definitely the over 50 crowd. So I'm going to talk about them and some of their journeys, and then I will drop the link for those who wish to share as well. Yesterday for Love is Blind France, we had someone come on, a listener named Jay, that gave us a whole bunch of so much good information about France and the dating scene over there. But I also welcome your opinion if you have an opinion on anyone for the show. So let's talk about a few things, okay? Let's talk about a few things. I just want to say this season was sponsored by Mariah Carey's Touch My Body. Girl, it's a whole lot of Touch My Bodies, okay? Okay. So let's start off with One Love Triangle, okay? One Love Square, okay? So we have Luciana here, okay? That is my beautiful plus size sister like myself. Luciana had Fabio and Mario interested in her. Okay. Mario had Justinelli. This is what the connections were. Fabio is like, Luciana is mine. That is my woman. That is my lady. This is who I want. This is who I'm going to get. Game over. Fabio said game over. FYI, if you are a member or you check in my post, you will see that Fabio, you'll see who people are. Fabio is a lawyer. 53 years old. Luciana is 50. She's a digital marketing manager. Okay. Mario is an entrepreneur. Justinelli is a personal trainer. Okay. Okay. So Fabio was all about Luciana, but Luciana likes to talk about physical connections, intimacy, and she likes to talk about along those lines. Can you keep up? Do you have the stamina? We are over 50, but we have aged a bit, but can you keep up? Okay? Can you keep up? So Mario also had Luciana, and Mario loves that talk. Mario love to talk. Ooh, girl, it's hot in here. Justinelli said, I ain't talking all that mess, and I don't like you talking all that stuff about intimacy with other ladies. That is not what I want for my husband. And Mario said, listen, I talk about intimacy even with my female friends. What you're not going to do is tell me who I can and can't talk intimacy with. So Justinelli bowed out and said, you know what, you ain't for me, Mario. So Mario focused on Luciana. Now, one of the other contestants that some people love, some people don't like, okay, they don't like her at all. She is our narrator. She is our narrator. And most people kind of like her, but some don't like her. Maria Luisa is our narrator. And she's like, she came in and told Luciana, oh, I heard that the wedding needs to be planned because Fabio said you are his. And Luciana didn't like that. She said, I didn't make any decisions. Mario, you need to go away because you're trying to stop me from talking to my 6 other connections. Luciana playing the field. And I think she's getting a play in the field. I'm sorry to say, but sometimes in Love is Blind, sometimes our connections, because they don't get to see us, some of us in the plus size delegation who aren't always, the ones that men seek out, we can play the field. And I'm sure she was enjoying playing the field. Now, one interesting point about Luciana that I like, and I was hoping she would make it further. Luciana has had long relationships with gentlemen and with a lady. So Luciana definitely has, played the field, both sides of the field. Love is Blind, USA Love is Blind producer must hate Love is Blind France and Brazil released near their season. They've lost so many viewers. Well, it starts on October 1st. And I will say they will lose me at the beginning because France's reunion is on October 1st. So they have said. Okay? Yes, to go to Africa. She played so much that she didn't see that she was playing herself. Fabio is a lawyer. He's all about her. I wonder if she's going to spin the block and see him. Okay? That was a little bit about Luciana and her connection. Another connection, Nivea and Ricardo. It turns out she is the widow of the bunch. It turns out that Ricardo is the same name as her deceased husband. And I'm wondering, even though she was kind of, choked up about it, what are her kids going to say? She has a couple of daughters. How are her kids going to feel that this man you're bringing home, mama, from this show has the same name as our dad? Now, Ricardo is in luxury sales and stuff like that. That's what he does. He is from, I believe it was Paraguay. And he moved to Argentina with his cousin. And he lived with a lady long-standing, and she proposed to him. Y'all, in this version, the ladies can propose, okay? In this version, the ladies can propose. In this version, he went and he lived with that lady for the longest time, and she proposed, and yeah, he said, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Let me go back to one thing. Let me go back to this one. Mario and Luciana. Luciana proposed to Mario. Okay. Luciana proposed to Mario. At the reveal, Luciana gave Mario the rings and say, it is your decision. I brought us here. Now you got to take us further. And Mario couldn't do it. He said, are you going to be all right? She's like, yeah, the person to shame me hasn't been born yet. And Mario didn't even go to the door to let the doors close as they're supposed to. He walked all the way out. Mario walked all the way out and left Luciana there. Let's get back to Nivea. Let's get back to Nivea and Ricardo. So I don't know with Nivea and Ricardo if this is going to work. He was very hesitant. He never had kids. I don't know. Mario thought he was doing something to leave her like that. What a real donkey. That was the most embarrassing moment in Love is Blind. I don't know. Okay. Mario child. Now, when y'all put that there, I got to give you this. I got to give you this. Ooh, child. I don't know which one is more embarrassing. And if you're watching both, and that's okay. In France, this young lady chewed out a man for a whole 15 minutes, and it was the wrong man. And she had to ask him, did I lose you? He's like, yes, you did. And this one, Mario walked all the way out and left Luciana there at the reveal area. But these two, I think his fear of commitment, he's not used to dealing, in a relationship, marriage. So I don't know. And Nivea knows a long-standing marriage. I don't know. Choreographer said this one. They already had a gotta leave a girl at a reveal in the earlier season of Brazil. Yes, Brazilian men know how to leave. Did I say that? I'm sorry. Let me go on because I want to drop the link and get y'all here. Now, Mario, Roberto, and this Luciana. Lucian. Oh gosh, please forgive me. Let me find her name so I can say it properly. Properly, Lucelma. Okay, Lucelma. Y'all, when you thought things in the 50s were going to be different, Mario told Lucelma, we're going to call her Lou. Mario told Lou that he lives at the gym that he, practices the capoeira, boxing, and everything. He lives at the gym. And she's like, oh, you live by the gym? He's like, no. I live at the gym. She said, that's okay. He's like, I don't have a place to stay. I don't have a car. Basically, he is, paycheck to paycheck. She's like, that's okay. I have an apartment. I have a car. I have what I have. Lucelma is a logistics technician. I'm not sure what that is in Brazil, but yeah, he said, I live at the gym, at the gym. She's like, that's okay. We can make it work. This will be Lucelma's fourth husband. Okay. Fourth. Her parents say they don't want to meet whoever she bring home because they're tired. They're tired of this. They are tired. Now, he does tell her he has very eccentric way of dressing. He does dress, a little more flowy, more like the hammer time pants. He does wear like the Africana style tops. I don't think his garments are that different, but it's definitely not traditional. He has some style and flair. Now, what I had to get on Lucelma about, okay? Y'all will see it in my recap. Lucelma, at the decision point, gave him 4 gifts. We ain't seen him give her not a 1 gift. Not a 1 gift. Lucelma, I granted it was not for him. It's whoever she connected with. She gave 4 gifts. 4 gifts. I said 4th? 4th husband. 4th husband. Her parents said, don't bring nobody home. They're tired. They're tired. Wonder how Ricardo's family will react. Their son's name is the same as the former husband. They may feel that she is using him as a replacement. They may. And I think he's considering that too, because he also said, this is about Ricardo, y'all, with Nivea. He also said that it's big shoes for him to fill. Big shoes for him to fill. I'm tired on her family's behalf. Yes, I'm tired on Lucelma's family's behalf. I really am. But she seems like someone who just wants to be loved and wants to love, and she wants it so badly. And she seems like such a nice person. Okay? She seems like such a nice person. Here's another one. Now, I love the representation. Okay, I love the representation. There were a lot of brothers. There are lots of people of color. I love the representation here on Love is Blind Brazil for the over 50. Ida and Ed. Ed, y'all, is the gentleman that had the 2 kids at the same age and are not twins. One, I think he said, was born in March and one born in July. Ed, y'all, was telling Ida, everything still works. The pipeline is still flowing. Ed, I need you to calm it down. But Ida, too, was all about it. Now, she was telling him what she looked like, and I don't like people who give clues to what they look like. She was saying she's a daughter of Paraguay. She's a daughter of the indigenous people. That was giving him a thought of her look. So when he saw her, he was expecting, he said, someone a little more native looking. So she is definitely not an issue. Her looks are not an issue for him. I like that for Ed. But Ed tells me that every pot he gonna be the lid for. Ed tells me every pot he gonna be the lid for. You got thoughts on Ed when you come up? Okay. Not enough women, though. Not enough women of color, yes. There were, but we didn't get their storyline. There were like 3 ladies, African-American, more dark-skinned ladies. We did not get their storyline. Lucelma has a hard time being single. She needs to be in a relationship. That's why she chooses bad partners. Right. Ed wants us to know he's 65, but his energy is at a 10. Yes, he wants you to know that his pipeline is still going because he's an event producer, more for music and theater. She's a theater specialist. She brings people, she's audience coordinator. She brings people to the theater. She brings people to the theater. So they have that kind of background together. They also like to talk suggestive with each other. They also like to be like, ooh, okay, okay. And they were in it to win it at the vacation. They said they didn't get no sleep, that the sun found them awake. That's Ed and Ida. That they let us know all of it. Okay? They let us know all of it. Next up is going to lead to, the last one. I should have put them all together on one. But let's start here. Revo is in the middle. I put Revo in the middle. Okay? Okay? This is all the Revo here. Okay? Revo here ends up with Sylvia. Sylvia's other connection is Wagner. Okay? That's why I put it like that. Revo is connected to Sylvia, Fatima, and Leica. Okay? They have a better chance of getting married. Well, the thing with Ed and Ida, they want to live separately. They want to have separate places, separate. They don't mind living separately and still be married. Don't forget, this is Brazil. When they get rings, both of them get a ring, and both of them wear it on their right hand to show they're in a significant relationship. So let's talk about it. Revo is connected to Fatima, Leica, and Sylvia. Revo went through the gamut. Revo liked Leica, and he's, said he maybe, he's the oldest guy in the bunch. Okay, Revo is the oldest gentleman in the bunch. Fatima is 70. She's the senior lady of the bunch. I think Revo is 67. He is 67, a foreign exchange manager. Lord Jesus, not to use the entire supply. No. Yes, I did like Wagner. I really, really liked Wagner. So Sylvia liked Revo, okay? Leica liked Revo, and Fatima liked Revo. Sylvia tells Fatima, I'm a lay off Revo. You can have him. I'm going to let you have Revo because, that's the only man that's close to your age. Fatima said, I don't want your leftovers. What do you mean you're going to let me have him? What if I don't want him? Don't give me your leftovers. I'm going to find my own man. That's what Fatima said. I'm going to get my own. If he's for me, I'm going to get him myself. Okay? Sylvia, when she broke up with Revo, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to let you have him. Fatima's like, whatever. Sylvia then goes back to Revo and said, Revo, I want us to try again. Could you please give us another chance? And Revo said yes. Sylvia, meanwhile, was dating Wagner. Sylvia told Wagner and she told Revo that she is involved in mature adult content. She is an influencer. And in that influencing, she has moved on to doing adult content. Now, what she said is she would take, she would take a bath in a bikini. Remember, an unsolicited advice earlier today, episode 37, we talked about the bikini baristas and that man who got himself in trouble, spending all that money there, and his wife found out. Well, Sylvia is, taking baths and bikinis, and that is one part of her content. Wagner took it okay, and I thought Wagner was going to be up in arms about it, but Wagner took it okay. And Sylvia, to let you know how open this is, Sylvia is, her son manages her content. Her son is her content manager with all this risque stuff. So Fatima decided, she really ain't about Revo ain't her type, blah, 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 blah. Leica had to decide between Revo and Leo. She's like, I don't want Revo. I'm bowing out. So Sylvia ends up dumping Wagner to date Revo, and Revo only had Sylvia. So Sylvia got her man. Sylvia's a drama queen. She's spontaneous in her behavior and decision and blames others for her behavior. Yes. It's good that Fatima has a lot of confidence. Unfortunately, she doesn't realize that she looks older than 70. Yes, I agree with you, but Fatima is like, she could pull in 20-year-olds. I don't know, but that's what she said. So in this whole thing, I really like Wagner. I wish we see Wagner again. He seemed very even keel. He seemed very cool, put together. When everything was going on, Revo told Sylvia it is her responsibility to break it off with Wagner. Wagner had a man-to-man conversation. They were holding hands, y'all, in the chairs. And Wagner said, listen, you knew what was going on. You should have told me. And Revo said, it ain't my responsibility. It ain't my responsibility. Wagner's like, I would have told her respectfully, I'm sorry, I need to go have a man-to-man conversation. Well, you know, it's her responsibility. It ain't my responsibility. Revo is all about not taking responsibility. I think Wagner was a bit out of line taking Revo to task. I think he was right, Sam, and we could talk about it further. The men there were all very open, as they all said. They were very open. I don't like it, but they were very open in talking about who they were interested in. And hey, you know, if things don't work out, because when Leica picked Leo, Revo went into the men's lounge and congratulated Leo and shook his hand. Say, you know what? She chose you. I'm going to back out. You know, I wish you all the best. So why he couldn't do the same for Wagner? Fatima can get younger men with money. Ooh, okay. All right. She is a model, though. You know, Fatima is a model. She's a senior model. Okay. So that is a gist of this whole thing. But Revo is regretting picking Sylvia. And I have a short out there where he say he is not happy. He is not happy with her. Now, it moves on to Leica and Leo. Now, Leo is a dentist, y'all. He's one of those suave dentists. He's like a Don Juan. He comes off like that. He's got the perfect teeth, the perfect smile. He's one of those handsome dentists that will be on a poster board out there. So Leica chose Leo, but Leica told us some things. She's possessive, not just of people, her parents, her nieces, everything. She's possessive of her pens, inanimate objects. She is possessive. She also tells him she's a little bit crazy. Leica tells him she's a little bit crazy and wild and this. And Leo's like, okay, we're going to work on it. We're going to work with it. Okay. Leo, run. Not only that, they go on the honeymoon. Leica said, you know, anybody with a calm personality ain't for her. Ain't for her. Thank you, shApp. Let folks know. Please hit the like button. I'm going to drop it down right after this for y'all to come up, those who have a point of view. So Leica and Leo, as with most of them, only Revo and Sylvia are the ones that we've heard of. You know, he rolled over and went to sleep and was snoring all night. Leica and Leo, you know, tested out the intimacy situation. And Leica in the morning said there was no fireworks. I have a short with that, with what she says. It was no fireworks. It was nothing special about it. Nothing. It was no toes curling, no fireworks, no spice. It was just there. Leica, you have just told all of Brazil and the international audience that Leo ain't got it. But it seems like he's more the gentle, sensitive type. Because I'm catching Leica in a little fib. She says, oh, he doesn't touch me. He doesn't, you know, caress me. He's so distant. Yet the montage they show us, he is touching her arm. He is touching her shoulder. His hand is on her waist. He's kissing her hair. They show us all the aspects of Leo actually being physically affectionate with her, but she's saying he don't touch her. Leica, a little bit of a lie. It's a strange relationship Sylvia has with her son. He has to watch her produce and see customers. Yes, the comment section of her videos, I give them a side eye with her 8 cats. Thank you for reminding me about that with Sylvia. Leica sounds like a character from a crime series. I understand why she's been divorced twice. She focuses on what others have and is never satisfied. She had no touch my body. She wanted groping. Yes, she wanted groping. She wants somebody to be overly expressive. Leica is playing Leo's heart. I wish she had chosen somebody else. I wish so. Because production was shady boots. At the, Revo is telling us that after the mixer that he want Leica. These are couples. Revo is telling us after the mixer, let me take your comments off for a minute, that he want Leica. And Sylvia caught on to that. Sylvia caught on to that. And Shady Production put both these couples to do a dance class together and then switch partners. They switch partners. Now, what Sam is talking about here, I hope those were real cat hairs in Sylvia's brush. Sylvia tried brushing Revo's hair back. And with a man like that with a queef, like Ricardo, like Leo, I wouldn't be touching his hair. And she had cat hair, because she's the one with the 8 cats. Sylvia is. She had cat hair in the brush. And he was flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. And she takes the hair out of the brush and tucks it into her brassiere. I don't know. I asked on my recap, for those of you who are cat parents, is that usual? Do you share a brush with your cat? Okay. Do you share a brush and do you collect their hair on that brush and keep it with you in that manner? I'm just asking because I don't know. I have dogs. I have had a cat, but I did not share a brush. The dogs don't share a brush with their brush is their brush. So I'm asking you guys who are cat parents. That wigged me out. I was like, what in the world is happening? I said, but maybe I'm out of the loop. Maybe I'm out of the loop. If Leica is telling the truth, he isn't conforming to the stereotype of a Brazilian man. And they're not a monolith, though. There can be very gentle Brazilian men. Maybe Leo is one of them. Or maybe Leo playing in our face in the camera because he doesn't want to come off kind of sketchy. I'm curious about Leica's family reaction to her jealousy. If they were her siblings, I wouldn't let her be alone with the kids. I don't know about her and the jealousy and all of that, but this is our cast. This is our cast. 5 couples. Hope the cat don't have fleas. And if you were in episode 37 of Unsolicited Advice, you understand what we're talking about, cats and fleas, or animals and fleas. So this is our cast. It is very eclectic bunch. I have to say Brazil has not disappointed me. We have Lucelma, with the struggle love over there. Leica and Leo, she say ain't no fireworks. That's why I have fireworks in the background. Revo and Sylvia, he didn't want Sylvia. He wants to be able to, and he had a conversation with Leica like, I don't like the woman I'm with. How about you and Leo? Would you like to come over? Come on, go with me. Come on over to my place. Can we swap? Nivea and Ricardo, I think him trying to live up to her previous husband, her deceased husband, is going to be something else. And Ida and Ed going to be, I don't know. They're certainly compatible in the boudoir. I know it's a wrong word. I know it's French that I said. I know they're compatible, okay? There. But I don't know how much compatibility they have. Because Ida was like, okay, you had them 2 kids born in the same year that are not twins. That's before me. Very mature thought. Very mature thought. But again, it was before me, but I know you a player and you about that life. If I were Revo, I would have grabbed the nunchuck from Sylvia. Now, what shApp is telling us is also Sylvia's son is, it's not karate, but it's similar. I forgot the word for it. And Sylvia, weapon of choice is nunchucks. And she shows it off. And she tells, Revo she'll use the nunchucks on him. And she also said if Leica comes near her fiance, she's going to use it on her too. Okay. Sylvia, I'm worried for both of them. I don't think it was jujitsu. She said what it was. It was something else. Yes, play my place. play my place, definitely. Now I do have y'all favorite trays coming through, okay? But I'm going to drop the link right now for those of you who wish to come on and we can talk about Love is Blind Brazil season 5. What are these couples doing? Anything you saw on there that is of a concern to you or anything else that we may have missed? I do like the narrator. Some of y'all don't like the narrator, but hey, I do like the narrator. Okay? I do like the narrator, and what she had to say. But, I do have a guest. Hey Ari.
Hello. Ugh. This it probably is by far my favorite season of this version because last previous seasons haven't been my favorite, and so this was on the bottom of
Okay.
my favorite for the versions, like dead last, unfortunately. So, but this, I mean, especially considering last season with the sort of getting into the DV-ish sort of things
Yes.
after the season ended. But yeah, I mean, but this, I mean, the old people are just like, dang, like they really trying to get in. I mean, this is. I was thinking this is exactly why at the old folks' home that they be getting all the STDs and STIs of it all because
Fleas and ticks.
yes, Lisa Ticks. Thank you for making it sound more pretty. But this is why they get the fleas and the ticks of it all at the down old folks home because they getting it in like jackrabbits. So
They are. K Sharp said, why did production arrange a double date for two couples, one of whom is interested in the other? Because it's production. K Sharp, I would do the same thing. When I heard Revo would prefer, after the mixer, would prefer to have Leica, if I was production, I was covering his confessional, I definitely would set them up to be together in the same room doing something. I definitely would.
and to be quite honest, there's going to be some aspect of production putting their hands in the cookie jar, so to speak, because you can't really escape that, unfortunately, with any sort of reality TV show. Um, so, I mean, if this is the most the furthest extent of what they're gonna do, then I think that's pretty tame in my opinion. But I could be off. I don't know what you think about that, but
I think they're going to do a whole lot more. I
ooh,
think they're going to
dang.
place them in apartments that are real close to each other.
Ooh, damn. Okay.
They did it for Argentina. They did it for
I,
Argentina.
I did not see, I did not watch that version, unfortunately. So I have no frame of reference for that, but I'm gonna take your word for it because
Argentina is spicy too because a couple who left, they never connected. He chose somebody else who didn't choose him. She chose somebody else that didn't choose her, but they were each other's kind of picks. And they met in the airport, talked, and she stayed with him. And they asked to come back. And while everybody thought they were gone, they came back and moved them in real close to the woman that he was really all about.
mm,
And she was all about another man. So again, Argentina did it. I have huge faith that Brazil will place Revo and Sylvia and Leica and Leo on the same floor.
mm,
On the same floor. But Sylvia also, because the ladies had an issue with her, Nivea said, oh, we had a sisterhood in the pods. Nivea said the sisterhood was not there. I also have that as a short where she cussing them out. And she's like, I'm going to play nice, but y'all threw me under the bus. Because when Sylvia said, I'm going to leave Revo for you, everybody saw that as an insult to Fatima.
Sylvia pissed me off with that. So just to get on a couple or a person real quick, uh,
Uh-huh.
I was liking her. I was actually liking her. In like when did she do the whole you can have him Fatima thing? Was this episode 2?
Yes, it
Or
was episode 2.
Okay, because I was gonna say like I liked her all of like episode one, and then as soon as she did that, I was like, you are being really underhanded here, and it's giving you know you know how we talk like you talked about the Mean Girl vibes on France.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what it was giving, and I was just thinking earlier before I came on that both this season and France can be sponsored by um
Touch.
no, no, no. Well, not just. I mean, maybe, but I was thinking Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas because I was like, because I mean, because everybody's fighting on both versions, and I'm like, what in the world? Did we land in the Twilight Zone and the multiverse simultaneously? Because what is going on with all this fighting? Like, really, is it that serious? I mean, focus
Okay,
on your own relationships.
in the if you gave me about 5 years, I could have been in this group category, and it would be definitely wild. But yeah, she was talking about that, kung fu fight. I think, okay, here's what I wanted, and they given it to me. The seniors are very free physically,
Mm.
because we no longer are concerned or have to be concerned about being demure and mindful. We done had kids, we done have grandkids, we done played around, and here we are. So we don't have to be worried about, like, increasing a body count if we, get it on vacation. Wasn't it Revo that says that he has dilly and dabbled in the red and blue pill of it all? He has used enhancing performance.
If he did, I missed that, thankfully, because I was like, he don't need that. No, so he's 67. He's gonna break a hip. So
What he said, he has the body and active of a 30-year-old man, even at 67.
both him and Ed
Yeah.
really don't need to be doing anymore because they're liable to break it because they're the oldest guys of the bunch. So I'm like, stop it. Like, speaking of Ed, I now I need to get on to what I think of him because I think both because I was getting the same feeling about him and Ricardo
Okay.
that um Ed seems more of the obvious F boy because
Mm,
he had
mm.
the two kids by two different women at the same time out of marriage. And yet here he is on the show about marriage, and like you couldn't marry either one of the ladies that you had a kid with.
Don't forget, we're gonna be living separate lives.
So so I'm like he seems the more obvious F boy, and then with Ricardo, he seems because he's the one that had uh a 14-year-old daughter at 39, right?
Yes.
Um, and I may have missed it, but I did he say something about have not having married that woman either?
Yes, he didn't marry her.
Okay, that's what I thought. Um, so yeah, both. And so he seems more of the covert F boy because he seems more soft spoken and not as loud as Ed. So that's why I say that they gave me both the same thing, but they're just two sides of the same coin,
I
if you
understand
will.
you saying that. I more gave it that he was an F boy in his youth. I wonder if he has grown out of that.
That's why I'm like he's like I was getting that little touch of that he's still kind of like that now. And so that's why I'm like because he seems so like more not as loud about
Right.
his stuff as Ed. So that's why I
Right.
was like, I don't know, is there something there that we're not seeing with him? I hope not, because I don't want Nivea to be effed over by a
By
second
the F boy.
Ricardo. Yeah, by a second Ricardo because her first one was so good and loving, and he unfortunately passed away. So
Right. And the last 2 years were where she took care of her past husband, before he passed away. Ricardo was in a long relationship. Yep, doesn't want to get married. He traveled a lot and had fun. He's the quiet F boy. Thank you, Munira. Yes, he is in Perfume. and cosmetics, luxury stuff. So he said that that's why he didn't get married before, because his, job kept him on the go a lot of times. Okay, hold on. Let me I need to change this up. I don't want you hidden. There we go. There we go. We can see Sam. Hey Sam. I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, you got to unmute your mic. I still can't hear you. I'm trying to unmute it. I can't. There you go.
I'm old and nothing's changed already, Elsie.
Where you went? Where did you go, Sam?
Oh no. Don't tell me it kicked her off.
No, she must have pressed something.
Oh no. Technical difficulties on the Sunday evening.
I'm telling you, yes, technical difficulties on a Sunday. Come on back, Sam. If y'all don't know Sam, one of our long-standing subscribers here, she was so excited for this, so I was waiting, and I am waiting for her thoughts about this for the over 50 to be in the Love is Blind. I'm hoping the US version does this. I'm hoping other versions take this. I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they do. Okay, Sam, we're back.
Okay. Now I need to close out the screen because I've got two myself, so I don't know which one I got to undo.
You just gotta mute one for the audio.
Okay, let me see.
So that it won't give an echo. I
am pathetic.
No, you're not.
No, you're fine. Girl, you think I know everything about technology?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so embarrassed.
Just need to take the volume down in one of them. Whichever one you're not speaking through. No, that one, whatever you click, that's muting you right now. So mute the other one. Okay, you're fine. You're unmuted now. Mute the other device.
Okay, let me see how I can mute the other one.
Okay.
Okay. Is that correct?
Yes, you're good.
Good Lord. I'm sorry, everybody. Ari, Elsie, fam, sorry. Look.
Hey, we're still waiting on Trey, so you good.
Okay.
10 minutes done. 10 plus minutes later, he's still right here, just so you know. I mean,
hey.
Sorry, Trey.
I will defend Trey. Trey is working, okay?
Okay, then I'll give him a pass. I'll give him a pass.
Yes, he's actually working on his Sunday, maybe the Lord's Day of rest, but it is not his. So, so Sam, tell me what you think. These are couples.
Yes, and again, I hope the next time I try to get in, we won't have these technical difficulties. Thank you for giving me some grace. You all right, everybody? I appreciate you. So here's the thing, and I'm sure this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I'm trying to get my words right so I don't sound totally judgmental. Being a senior citizen myself, I guess I thought that there was going to be some maturity around these seniors that I don't feel like I'm getting to with them. And if I'm being really honest, I felt like I got more maturity with like Love is Blind. What's the other one we're watching? France. In terms of, it seemed like they were at least asking questions that can set them up for a future. Whether that happens or not becomes another thing. I'm thinking that, I guess I was expecting this. Now, to be honest, I never watched the entirety of The Golden Bachelor. I didn't. But at least in that, what it sounded like is they were trying to, in some questions, kind of get to, if you know that you're a grandparent, there's kids, what does that mean? Will we blend families? What does our future look like? Where do you live? Where do I live? If this becomes the commitment, because this is Love is Blind, what will that look like when we integrate our life? I'm expecting kind of that. And instead, what I'm really getting is, if my eyes were closed, I wouldn't know if these were seniors or if they were 20-year-olds. No disrespect to 20-year-olds.
Hello.
You better say it, Sam. You better say it.
So I'm scratching my head the entire time because I'm thinking, wow, this is not what I expected. It felt like there was a seriousness with which they weren't necessarily taking things in the sense of the long term,
Let me explain, and let me take a gander at it. And I had the same thought, Sam. I said, wait a minute, we have multi-generations to blend here. So, but I think many of them, except for Lucelma and Leica, many of them, this is their first time even being proposed to or making a marriage proposal.
Yeah.
So I think for them at this age, for it to be this long, I don't know. Ricardo was in a 20-something year relationship or 20 or 15-year relationship, and he told the lady, let's think about it. It is wild to me, but I figured they have spent all of their years not committing, many of them. Mm-hmm. Nivea, she had her great love, but many of them, Ed, Ida, many of them, Revo, ain't never proposed or been proposed to.
Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. I could have sworn Ed said he was married twice. The first time was like 20-something years or something like that. And the second one was like just under 20 years. I could have sworn he said that.
I think Ed was married, but what I'm saying is many of them never been proposed to. Even in the pods. It's like when Sylvia was like, oh my gosh, I've waited 57 years for someone to propose. I'm like, that clicked for me. That really clicked for me for them. Plus, I'm not sure. I may be blunt. Forgive me, Brazil seniors, if this is it. I don't know how much future they got.
That's a nice way of putting it.
I don't know how much in the future they have and are thinking of that. I am meeting, my second or fifth husband or fourth husband, like Lucelma. Now, my children are grown. My grandchildren are, some of them, teenagers. It's like, how much future am I thinking of and expecting with this person? I'm just thinking to coast through the rest of my life in great companionship with someone rather than the young people building a future, building it with kids, building with other stuff. That's my take on them. Mm-hmm. And that's the only reason I was like you, I was like, wait a minute. They sound like the 30-something-year-olds of France.
Yeah.
They sound like them, but they are not them, but they are maybe them in a different way.
Because if that's the case, then Love is Blind is not for you. I mean, I'm not sure what the reality show is, but if Love is Blind is predicated on the whole engagement, create your future. Because I joked in our last live where I said, as somebody who's 55, please don't ask me about my 5-year planning, not at this age. And I'll explain why in a second. When you're 20 and you ask somebody, or 25 or 27, what's your 5-year plan? I get that. Your 5-year plan is the ultimate career, the house, the this, the that. At 55, 5 years for me is my parents are still alive. Are they still well? Are they sick? What would that look like for me? It's a very different in this season, which you can talk about 5 years from now, because I don't want to accelerate those 5 years, because as I'm getting older, my parents are getting older and life is lifing. But when you're 20, you're excited and you can't wait for the 5 years because, so I feel like if that's how these people were rolling, let me put this nicely. I don't want to get graphic because this is not after dark.
Let me mute myself. Hold on, sorry.
Even when they would kiss each other at the
reveal.
At the reveal, I'm thinking, whoa. Even for me, and I'm not a prude, but I'm like, really? I mean, really?
And we're not just talking kiss, everybody. If you have not seen the show, it is kiss, it is grab, it is grope, it is
look.
That kind of kiss. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. I think it was when Ed and
Yes.
Ida were kissing. I was like, he looked like he's slobbering all over her. Like at that point, I don't want kisses. I don't want like wetness of those set of lips, so to speak.
Yes.
I wanted a different set of lips. Don't I feel like I need a wet towel, not wet towel, but a towel to wipe my face off or something like.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ed is enthusiastic.
Oh,
and so was Leo too. Leo kind of seemed a little bit more tame compared to Ed, but I'll just leave it at that.
Leo was enthusiastic. He did I didn't think he liked Leica, because he wasn't talking about her physical beauty at all. I think he was just excited to have someone. But
Yeah.
I don't think Leo liked Leica either.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was thinking about this earlier with Leo. Um, and I could see how a little bit that might be true, but I'm trying, like, for me, I was thinking he seems more like me, where he's more reserved. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm very much hoping that it's just that he I feel like there was somebody on the Mexico season that was more reserved too. I think it was Lena, I think was her name, Lena. She was more reserved and didn't want. I mean, so I'm getting that sort of
There was a
feeling from him.
Francesca that was reserved.
Francesca, okay. So I'm getting more that. I'm hoping that it's more that than anything, but I can see how maybe a little bit it's like that, maybe. But I'm trying to be hopeful, at least as far as he goes, because I'm trying to root for somebody on
Here's
this
my
season.
problem. Leo thought he laid it down. And Leica is telling us there ain't no fireworks, there ain't no spark. It was lackluster. And this is how a man like Leo makes it to 50-something years old, thinking that he got it, thinking he's stroking it good, and he ain't. And Leica is telling us when she should be giving him a corrective action plan. Okay? This is how it happens. And this is why I love seeing this, because I'm like, at this age, we see how the 30-somethings can get to this age and be like that. But I'm telling you, Leica, you better tell that man. You don't have to stay with him, but you better tell him it lackluster.
Yeah, because like I said in the chat earlier, she wants to be fondled. Well, I won't say the other word, but fondled in a way. I don't know.
Yes.
See, that's the way it was given. And so and so of course, because I get that feeling from her, it's giving to me that her attraction to him is dwindling.
Mhm.
And instead of saying I expect more of an aggressive type of physical touch,
Right.
that it's just not working for me. And that's where the whole well, you need to communicate part comes from. And that's what she's not doing. That's her problem. Because he can't read her mind. So I'm like, well, what do you expect him to do? Because he was, like Kelsey said, like there was a montage of him, like, kind of like rubbing her shoulder / her back and all that stuff. So it's like she was technically, if you want to put a word to it, giving her physical touch. This is not the physical touch she was wanting.
And I think
Go ahead, Sam.
Excuse me, Elson. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think too, but I could be way off base on this, so you guys can course correct me. I think Leo might have had concerns too, and I wonder if this is why he kind of went with her so quickly. He said that, hey, I thought that when you said an older group, it was going to be basically people in their 50s. And I think he was a little surprised that 50s was 50s, it was 60s, it was 70s. I don't know why he didn't think that, but he seemed to think that senior was more in that 50s category. So I don't know if he had concerns about linking up with somebody that he perceived to be a bit older than what he would prefer in terms of kind of the age aspect of it. And the other thing I noted, and you guys will have to remind me, because I can't remember if Leica had those comments before or after the mixer, because it seems like once the mixer hits, it really kind of skews people's perceptions, because now they have the opportunity to see, who they had been speaking to, see their vibe and their energy. And it's almost like once they get a vibe check from others when they're there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There seems to be almost like this shift or this change in how they feel about with whom they are.
Person. Yes, and it happened with France too. We saw that with the France mixer with a few, a couple of the, at least two of the couples. But here, yes, I agree with you. Everybody, got the sound of people's voice. They got a reveal. That's what I love about Brazil. As soon as we propose and say yes, we have the reveal right away. We ain't got to wait a few segments before we see how people react to each other. But here's the thing. Leica is 51, Leo is 50.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if Leo was totally seeking, as you said, someone who had to be in their 50s. And Leica sounded the most attractive, but I'm sorry. Leica sounded like single white female to me.
Ooh.
The possessive, when she said she is overly possessive over a pen, I was like, we have a problem. Houston, Brazil, we have a problem. That you can't even borrow her pen?
Right.
I'm an only child and I have a twinge of selfishness, okay? But you could borrow my pen. My pen could disappear. I mean, heck, I could set aside, some cake or something and it could disappear. It don't matter to me. That's an inanimate object.
Well, I disagree with about the food part because, like, if you touch my food, I'm gonna have problems. But I get the whole pen situation though, because it's like, I mean, at least I'm not trying to eat
misery. She got misery.
I was thinking Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. That's what I was thinking. Sorry.
Wait a minute.
But I don't know. I mean, just to kind of go back a little bit on with the whole Leo thinking that it was going to be like the 50s part, I was kind of thinking the same thing. It was like at most it was going to be like 60, maybe 61 myself. I mean, I shouldn't have like thought that, but I was thinking that it would be more so in the 50s myself. So, and maybe that's
Revo is 67 and he wants the 51-year-old woman.
I mean, he gives off he want, like, if he could, he would get a 20-year-old.
Yes, he definitely would.
Yes.
Okay. We have Trey, you ready? Trey is backstage. Let me add him. Hey, Trey. Are you in the over 50 delegation?
Meaning what exactly?
He sounded like Leo. He sounded like Leo.
Give me specifics here. What are we talking about?
Would you make the cut in the over 50 casting of Love Is Blind Brazil? As far as age.
Could I date some of those women? Is what you're asking?
Yeah.
Maybe a handful.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Who tickles your fancy, Trey?
First of all, what we gonna do? We gonna do some house cleaning. Excuse me while I adjust a little bit, Elsa. Hello everyone. How y'all doing, Miss Sam? How you doing down there? I see you over there. Ari, don't act like I wasn't listening to you talk your smack. I'm trying to work and provide for stuff. You're talking about, it's been 10 minutes. He ain't got it yet. Relax. All right?
I didn't say, okay, I take it back. So I'm sorry about that, okay? I'm sorry about that.
Relax. That's all I got to say. Relax. Okay? But now,
Trey, cover. I know you got notes. Cover them as you see them on the screen. I want to hear your notes.
I'm gonna answer that question. The only one, this is funny that y'all were just talking about. The only one that I said, the most to me, from what I saw, the most attractive female was Leica. Just to me, there was something that was like, okay, but just from aesthetics, she was the most attractive. Let's be honest, we know Leo was the most attractive male, period. Hands down, you ain't even gonna argue about it. Okay? It is what it is. So I found it very interesting that out of all of the group, they were the ones to get together. So I'm like, how did that happen? Who pushed that? Somebody pushed that. I felt like it was pushed a little bit because hearing Leica talk, I'm like, Revo is her speed. Personality wise. I was calling that from Jump Street. I was like, yo, Revo is her speed. Why is she?
She gave him up for Fatima.
Listen, you know what? Yeah, I got opinions on that whole debacle. Because I was like, you know what? Everybody is tripping. Sylvia was tripping. Fatima was tripping. Well, excuse me. It's a Fatima or Fatima? It's Fatima. It's pronounced Fatima.
I've heard it both ways. I've heard Fatima and Fatima.
Fatima was tripping too, but there's a specific reason why I thought she was tripping. She wasn't wrong for her anger at Sylvia because they did sound like you're gonna let me have him. Like, okay, that was wild. But my quick thought was, have y'all, especially y'all ladies, have y'all forgotten that y'all here? This is still a competition. Like, Fatima's straight up 86 her own chances in this whole debacle. You know, because the moment Sylvia said that, she turned herself off from Revo. It's Revo. She turned herself off, which I find interesting. Revo is the only person in that whole situation that doesn't know what actually happened, especially in that ladies' lounge. He doesn't know what happened over there. He doesn't understand what happened with him and Fatima and him and Sylvia. All he knows is Sylvia kind of, well, first things first, things ended with Leica. And he told, Leo, hey, I'm going to still fight for her, blah, blah, blah. That was crazy, but I respect it. Like, hey, you told her, hey, bro. And then she say, you know what I'm saying, it's good, I'm going to shoot a shot. And he did. And she was struggling. And she was like, which just leaves me more to think. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you choosing Leo from your own mouth? He's your personality. Why are you choosing Leo? It's almost like somebody told her, no, looks-wise, Leo's the one you want to go with. But the personalities don't match.
It's the weird age, Trey. She's 51. Revo is 67.
And I get it. So we got to leave it at that. But yeah, that whole Sylvia.
I mean, he could be her teenage dad.
You know what? Yes. You know what? I do think terms like that has to be put to the side when we end these type of situations.
Here, Trey the diplomat. Terms like these need to be put to the side.
I think because once you get past a certain age, it's kind of turns into academics.
Okay.
Because I would say once you get past 30, 35, I put that 35 to be safe. Once you get past 35, who really cares? Whether man or who really cares how old your partner is? You're a grown adult. You should know. Oh, you got a question? You got to stay.
I care.
You care. I get it. I understand.
Because I care because maybe at a certain age, it could be in the 30s too. It's higher percentage time that you need pharmaceuticals to keep going. Okay, I care. So
we already had one person say that he probably took a whole bottle of blue pills the first night or something. So there you go.
Whatever it takes, he has explored.
I meant it in the ways of it could vary. It could, you have to be careful because it could lean it on the sides of grooming someone when you have someone much older talking to someone that's much younger. That's why I said when you get around, especially 31st, 35, it's like, okay, it's semantics at this point. Like, you're a grown adult. You should maybe make your own decisions, make your own informed decisions. So it's like, okay, if you want to date a guy, he's in his 80s, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to look sideways, but I'm not going to fight you on it. I see a guy that he's dating this woman, she's 70-something. Yeah, like Fatima said, I could pull a 20-year-old. All right, whatever. That's a little weird. When she said I could pull a 50, I could pull a 40, I was like, all right, cool. That's good. I could pull a 30. I was like, hold on now. From your break a little bit.
She could pull you, Trey.
No, she can't. I'm sorry. I like her personality, but it's just not going to be good. Nah, it's a go for me. But she was in pretty good shape. I have to give it to her. All right.
Yes. She told us why her brother passed away because of health-related, being, unhealthy. So she got into a healthy lifestyle and surpassed his age. She looks great. She is a senior model. She is retired. She is modeling out there. So she is definitely living a very full life.
Yeah, she looks great for her age. I have to give it to her. You know, well, her body wise, looked great for her age. It was, you know, when I got this part, I was like, oh nah, I can't get past it. I'm sorry. No. So,
Yeah, but it's very interesting how the ladies view each other and how the men view each other.
So catty. You know, it's weird. Like the men are typical men when you come to when the Brazil show comes up. It's pretty typical. They all lovey-dovey on each other. Oh, that's my brother. We've been friends for years, even though you just met this guy last week. Stop it, okay? It's ridiculous. Oh, y'all brought up something else. I'm gonna land my plane right in.
No, I want your notes, Trey. I wanted you to go through each of the couples because you're the tardy one, but you had a whole pass, okay?
Not just Revo and the whole Revo and Wagner situation.
Woohoo! Yes.
I like Wagner, but he disappointed me in that last little tidbit. Because I'm sorry, all I saw was weakness from Wagner when he tried to come towards Revo. It came off very weak. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, bro.
Really?
Yes. I'm sorry. Listen.
Cosine.
We all know what we're here for, okay? I think Revo was absolutely correct when you said you should talk to Sylvia about that, because that was Sylvia's decision, not Revo's. That was purely Sylvia's whole decision, doing everything. She doubled back on Revo. She doubled back. She said she was going to choose Wagner. Wagner thought she was going to choose him. Next thing you know, the whole situation happened with Leica and Fatima and all that. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back and pull Revo. Revo was very skeptical at first. She actually asked him to marry him. She was like, would you marry me? He's like, oh, okay, hold on. And he did. Revo was player. That's a player, man. You saw how smooth he run that out? He was like, listen. He made sure to keep himself in the run. It was like, listen, I just want to take some time, think about this, but I think we should continue to keep going, get knowing each other, because I want to know you and I want you to know me. I was like, oh, this fool right here, Revo. That's why he a fan favorite. He's just smooth. He's smooth now. I had to give it to him.
I gotta push back, Trey. I gotta push back.
What, for Wagner?
No, about Revo. He think it's not his responsibility to tell Wagner, but why did he think it was his responsibility to go congratulate Leo when Leica told him that she chose Leo?
Because it was all over by that point. Remember, when that started, they knew they were both dating Leica. They knew that. Leo came to him. It was like, hey, remember, she told him, it was like, yeah, I think I'm leading towards the connection. He went to Leo. They both knew they were both dating her. And he was like, hey, man, congratulations. I'm going to just let you know. I'm going to keep trying until she says it's over. Because Leo was the one that came in and said, I think we locked in. Leo came in and said that. Now, on the situation with Wagner, it's flipped and in reverse. You know, they never actually spoke to one another about Sylvia and this, that, third. They kept it very, cool.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even talked about. So Wagner was the one, when Sylvia broke it out with him, he asked who was the other guy. I was like, oh God, don't do this, bro. Don't do this. I saw it coming when he asked. I was like, oh God, don't do this to yourself, bro. Don't do it. And she said, oh, it's Revo. He took it upon himself to try and have an issue with Revo. Why? Because
that's why there are no names in the pods, please.
Exactly. But the way he was coming off, he was trying to make it seem like he wanted to make it seem like Revo dirty macked him in a way, but he didn't. That's why Revo was like, hey, bro, that's not my place to say. You need to go talk to Sylvia about that. That was her decision. Because what he could have said, which would have hurt Wagner even more, hey, bro, she broke it off with me, then she dumped back and tried to get me. What am I supposed to do? That would
Your
have
girl
really hurt.
really want me, bro. Your girl want me.
That would have really hurt his feelings. So Revo was sparing Wagner. He was trying to spare him a lot more than Wagner saw. I'm telling you, Wagner is a little. He is very controlled. I like him, but he showed his true emotional weakness in that towards that tail end. And I went, oh, you can get him. He's vulnerable. You can get him. Because, bro, why you acted so invested by that point? Why?
Because he thought he had her in the bag. He thought Revo was no longer competition. And here's where I know he was weak in that, or not weak, in controlling. When he held on to Revo's hand while they talking and sitting in them chairs, I said, Wagner, holding on to the hand, Sam, you got something you want to share? When he was holding on to his hand and talking, I said, he making sure you ain't going nowhere. I'm going to say what I got to say.
Yeah.
And he was looking for other guys to back him up. You notice nobody really backed him up either. The reason why he did it out front like that in front of those guys, he wanted them to back him up on what he was saying, but nobody backed him up. I'll tell you why. Nobody agreed. Like, bro, you should have been going to talk to Sylvia about this. Why are you talking to him?
I understand you talk to Sylvia about this. I understand, but it doesn't mean that you can't communicate as fellas. Wagner said, and even, Leo and them said that they have an understanding that they're chill, they're cool, and they talk about who their connections are and what's going on. So I think what Wagner didn't like is like, oh, all of a sudden you're playing your cards close to your vest, and you knew I was dumped or about to be dumped, and you said nothing.
But even if you wanted to legitimately have that conversation, I'd still have an issue with him. But even if you wanted to have that conversation, I said, you pull that to the side. Like Trey said, that was like right there, you holding his hand, you got your boys to the left, you got your boys to the right. You wanted that to be a public display. You wanted it to be known. Because if you really, really felt like that and you were really about it like that, you pull him to the side and say, hey, can I holler at you for a second? I wish you would have said something. I mean, I know that you were kind of quiet on this, but the fact that he needed it to be, like Trey said, kind of a little public kind of a display, put him on stage type of a thing. And then you didn't get anybody to co-sign. It wasn't like anybody said, hey, I agree, or head nodded, or some sort of silent body language to say, I co-signed that. So I agree. I think it made Wagner look, because I even rewound it to say, did I miss something that led up to? Because the whole hand holding was this, kind of disarming type of a deal.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That was chest to chest, right, Trey?
He tried to. That's the whole. His thing was, I think what was really upsetting Wagner, he tried something, but Revo was not engaging in the way that he wanted him to engage him. Because, like I said, Revo could have said a whole lot more. And it could have been a real issue up in there. All he kept saying is like, bro, I like you. I respect you. This had nothing to do with me. You should talk to her about that. That's her decision.
That's not my responsibility.
And it's not. Just be honest. You said that it's not his responsibility to tell. It is not my responsibility to tell this man he's about to be done. Mm-hmm. We are in competition with one another, unless we're real friends. And you are not about to have me believe that all these people are real friends. It's your first time meeting 10 days apart. We ain't friends. We cool. I can believe us to be cool like that. I can respect.
Wagner said I sent a gift and everything, and I still ain't get the lady. And Revo ain't sent none of the ladies anything.
Were you not in that chat a few days ago with Kojo and
Yep, I know where you're going.
We had this conversation.
Yeah.
The same conversation. You know what happens.
Yep.
His weakness showed.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all I'm saying.
He smelled blood.
Yeah.
You don't commit yourself, especially when you're giving gifts to a woman, and especially in this scenario. Never overcommit yourself without actually knowing that you are solidified in your relationship. I mean, you got it back and forth, like, okay, no, with the molars issue. He
Mhm.
never solidified things with
Katisha?
Katisha, and he missed all the red flags that she really wasn't feeling him like that.
Right.
Like he blinded himself. Same thing happened here. Like Sylvia, yeah, she said she liked Wagner, but did she really commit? Did she really say anything that she really wanted to commit with him? Or he was just my choice for now? And I feel so bad for Fatima. I want her to have someone, as charity work. Wow, that really was disrespectful. I feel Fatima, but she was tripping though, because they went too far.
She was.
Right.
What do you think about Mario, Roberta, and Lucelma?
Okay, Mario, which one?
The one that lives in the gym.
Put his face up. Which one
And his face is right there. In the corner. Your corner.
On the bottom
Okay,
left.
okay. All right, Black Mario. I got him as Mario R. Yeah, Mario R. I got him called Mario
Roberto
R.
and Lucelma. This would be her fourth husband.
Is she? I sense this. I don't want to say this, but I sense desperation from her. Like, it just feels desperate whenever she talks sometimes. And he's the real go with the flow type of dude. He's just, I'm here. It look good, so I'm just flow right on with it. Give me my crystals.
And in his fashion.
Give me my crystals in my skirt. I'll be good.
He never said a skirt. I will not have you.
I know. I'm just playing with him. I actually like him. I think he's cool.
Is he overcompensating by serving coffee every morning since he knows he can't financially support her?
He's gonna. Well, I don't. Yeah, you can say it's overcompensating, but most guys worth their salt. If you're not, most guys, when you're not financially able to be that head or provide that right off rip, you try to compensate in other areas. Most men try to do that. You know what?
Okay.
I can't pay for this, whatever. But you know what I can get you? I can make sure your coffee is there on the table every morning. You're gonna have breakfast. I'm washing your drawers. All that. You're gonna compensate somewhere. You got.
Well, apparently in Denver, they just want the man to wash their own drawers.
Not wash the drawers though. Okay.
The drawers.
Hey, wash everything because he's gonna be home.
GTD got the drawers. Got the drawers. Okay, gotta watch them things. But nah, he's cool. But my concern is her. Like, I think she has some of the same possessive personality that Leica has.
And Sylvia.
Yes, all of them. Yeah,
Because remember, Sylvia is the nunchuck and she's the blades. Lucelma is the blade girl.
I don't like Sylvia. I don't. You know what? She was not likable to me in the beginning. She started to be a little more likable as she when they got to the mixer, to the honeymoon island. Only reason why was at least from her standpoint, what was going on around her. She had a right to be a little upset about some of the things that was happening. I was like, okay, yeah, she's right on this. She's not blind. She see what the heck is going on. It's about to go down. And Revo, the boldness of this man. The boldness. What? You literally tempting this woman on camera. They in the next room. Oh my God. That's why I think they haven't helped. Production is pushing this along because this is ridiculous. How y'all just by yourselves having this whole conversation? Who does that? And I'm not picking around the corner, see what's going on. I am saying I'm a jealous type guy. I've never been, but I'm no fool either. What y'all doing up in here? Hey, how about we all sit down and talk together? Why y'all off by yourselves?
You can't do that if we take Leo and Sylvia to go film their confessionals.
That's what I said. They think they slick. Production all up in this. Production all up in this. They think they slick. that whole situation, and he was right on the money with Leica. She right on the money. Like, what's wrong with you? You don't look okay. I can see
you don't have a glow. He said you don't have that glow.
Oh man, she was eating it up too. She was trying hard not to like it. She was trying hard, but woo, you can see in her eyes, bro. Woo. I'm about to feel bad for Leo. I'm gonna feel so bad for Leo this season.
I'm sorry, you were listening. I don't feel bad for Leo. All the ladies before have failed him and not letting him know that he ain't got that fireworks.
I don't think that's it. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say it. I'm probably wrong. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Well, that's what Leo did. He went out on his own limb and he ain't made it.
And you know what it is? It's two factors that when they set it up, I knew this was gonna happen. First thing was Leo has always talked about his own insecurities, and he's very nervous about everything that was going around him. I don't think he's really used to all these cameras and everything going on and have to perform in front of the camera. Because in a lot of instances, I keep catching him looking at the cameras out the corner of his eye to see where they are. So it's throwing him off, number one. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows this is the big night. He got to perform. He's inside his own head. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's scooped. I'm not surprised at all if it happened. And then number two, the type of woman Leica is, like they sexually are not going to match. They're just sexually not going to match.
I understand because she also isn't paying attention that he was, physical with her. He was, being, touchy-feely, but it's not, as Ari said, it's not the type of touchy-feely that she would want.
Has he gotten the letter yet, though?
No.
Okay. So, I'm wondering if he's feeling apprehensive because I think she said, hey, I've got this letter here that kind of addresses some concerns, unless I'm misstating that. But
you're right.
Okay. Because that's what I thought. And so I wonder at the back, I felt exactly what Trace asked. So, well, the cameras, he's probably nervous about that because everything is out there on Front Street. But then he also hasn't received that letter to know. And if he's already actually kind of anxious,
yes,
then it's kind of hard. Yeah, it's hard to have your head in the game completely if you're wondering, well, what is this letter that addresses things that she's not even talking about yet? So
it's control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to throw you back, here's the thing. I think Leica did that to him because aesthetically he looks out of her league. I think she pushed him back because sometimes you want, this is the mental game of a dark player. That's the mental game of somebody like Leica. I want to keep reeling you in. So it's like, yeah, I got a letter for you. Or it's like in some people, they do it nicely. Like, I have a gift for you, but I'm not telling you. It keeps them on your mind.
Yeah.
You ain't thinking about anybody else. You ain't thinking about anything else except what they have for you.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. I just did it yesterday. A person on their birthday is coming up, and I left hints like, I wonder what you get. It works. Now they want it. Hey, sometimes you can use it for evil. Sometimes you use it for their own benefit. All relationships, I hate to say these words, but I'm going to say it, all relationships are manipulative.
It's a give and take.
Yes, but it's how you use that manipulation. Are you using it to harm them, or are you using it to uplift them?
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Well, Leica is using it to control his mind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his mind is gone. He don't know what he think about. He can't even. You know what? I know what it is. I think his stroke is just fine. You know what it is? Leica likes to be choking. He's not a choker.
That's what I'm saying. Like she wants the aggressive type of physical touch, but he doesn't want to give that.
Like, she wants a dom and he's a sub.
I don't think we got to be that.
No, I'm just saying, putting it in those terms. I don't think they are.
Okay, got you.
But she wants, someone a little bit more, not so tame.
I thought she wants a type of dominant. A certain type of dominant.
But Leo could also, here, since y'all are on the Leo bandwagon of being nice to him, Leo also
Here
could
we
be
go.
trying to be very respectful to this woman this first time. You're still discovering, learning each other. You don't want to go too far over the deep end. You want to be courteous this first time.
Is he attracted to her? Can I ask?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I
Okay.
don't know.
I can't get that sense. I felt
I
like.
mean,
Oh, I'm sorry, Ari. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, based off of the first meeting after they got engaged, it seemed like he was attracted to her because he was tonguing her down. But I mean,
I thought he was tonguing her down to get himself attracted.
There you go.
girl,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the thing.
Yes, a thing. Right.
I mean, personally, I think he is. It's just that I think he got in his head because, like Sam said, he's in his head about the fact that she still hasn't given him that letter, which I forgot about. So thank you for bringing that up. But I think he's in his head about that, and so he's. I mean, I personally think he's showing her his way of affection, by rubbing her arm and her back and all that stuff, and he is giving her kisses. I mean, it's just that, like I said, it's not the way that she wants it, which is the aggressive type. So, I mean, and she's not saying anything. So, I mean,
how do we go from Leo saying their lips fit like fireworks, Leica saying his touch is delicious, to all the way no fireworks?
Mm-hmm.
And he proposed without kneeling. I don't like these. But he never complimented and saying that she looked beautiful or pretty or complimented her dress at all.
I don't think that she is his type.
I don't think so either.
I really don't.
Not usually, no.
Yeah, I don't think that's his usual type. And this is going to sound crazy, so just bear with me because I'm trying to word it right. I feel like low key, she feels insecure and is not sure she's his type either. So if she can beat him to the punch with, when we're intimate, it's not quite there. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Blase, blase. This is going to make things a little bit easier because she can always fall back on the whole. Because if Revo now is kind of looking kind of right to her, she's falling because he's showing more of, like to Ari's point, I think Revo is showing more of what she feels she needs in terms of attraction. He's telling her the things she needs to hear and wants to hear. It was almost like she was using what Revo was saying to second think, yeah, well, maybe things, because at first it was like, how's it going with Leo? Oh, it's okay. And then by the end of the segment, it's like, well, I don't know.
She was comparing them. She was literally comparing them in real time.
Yeah, in real time. That's the phrase. In real time, she's like, you're absolutely right. Like in real time, she's doing that cross comparison. Yeah, and the energy was different.
The energy is different. They're two different men, but it's like, is Revo going to stay with you or not?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until you didn't get that energy from her until they all met at that mixer. That's when they flipped on her. That's when she flipped. It was weird. Before that, she seemed to be cool with Leo. That was fine. It was going all right. But as soon as you met Revo,
yeah, that mixer. It does it every time.
It does. It does. Hey, Cross Country Cruiser, we're just going through. These are the couples on the screen. We're just going through them. What do we think of, Ida and Ed? Here's my thing with Ida, and I just remembered it. Ida said we're okay to live separately. Okay? We're okay to live separately, separate lives, but I need a man to help me raise these kids. I'm like, how are we going to live separately? And she does have, one of her, she has one child of hers that she said she gave birth to, and then two that she adopted. One is a trans girl. One is a gay young man. So there's a lot there. So I just don't understand how Ida and Ed want to be married, live separately, but need help around the house. What are we doing?
I think she just wants the father figure there, or around, or available. Listen, I know these type of people exist. They are people that they believe that we can be married, but we don't have to live together. We can live in separate houses, separate states, whatever. We're still just together. they seem to be on the same wavelength, surprisingly. So I'm like, I heard Ari said earlier, you got a problem with Ed. Yeah, I can see you having a problem with him. The only issue is he's seemed to be with a woman who wants that type of man, or is okay with that type of man, and he can work with whatever he's going to give her, because she might be that type of woman herself.
Yeah, because he said last night was awesome, and she said it wasn't her screaming, it was the bed.
Listen, you talking about Ed? I'm getting the same feeling from her, and I like her. When the fish came, I like this lady. But the more she started talking, I said, "Yo, she is a true player. Her daggone self." Nah. This is a match.
You know what? You know what that play was? You know what I knew she was a real player for real? When he was saying, "Oh, we go for a romantic night out," and she just said, "Oh, we'll just go for dinner." And he's like, "Oh my God, that, like that's a little boring." And she said, "I may forget my undergarments because I'm a little forgetful." And that perked Ed up, and Ed was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, they on the same page, and she a true player for real. She one of them subtle players.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's not that I don't disagree with the fact that she's into him like that, because I really do think she is. It's just the fact that I think that he gives off, like I said before, he's the overt F-boy. And she's not, she wasn't listening in the pause when he had said he had 2 kids by 2 different women, and he didn't really see them in a light to want to marry either one of them. But yet he's on the show. I mean, I get that he's older now, but I don't see any evidence that he's changed that thought. So
I agree with you, because he just body rocking, knocking the boots. That's what, he bought that song. Well, we have a question from the audience. Ari, if you want to start it off. Does the panel feel they can work if they live separately, or must they live together to make it work? Ari?
Like with a lot of things, I think there are exceptions to rules. Dr. Pepper from Maths, Married at First Sight, for all who don't watch. The US version, by the way, not the other versions. She has come out and said that and I think for both marriages, that she's lived separately from her husbands. So it can work. Maybe. I'll just say that.
Would it work
maybe.
for you, Ari?
No.
Okay. Sam, what are your thoughts on that question?
I love that question. I think that it is not applicable, though, to these 2 people. I think it's a great general question. I don't see these 2 compatible, period. I think they're giving teenager vibes. I don't think they're giving Love is Blind vibes. So as it pertains to these people, whether they're together or separate, it ain't gonna work, because I don't think that they are aligned. They weren't asking each other the questions that they needed to ask to be able to push forward with longevity. If that makes sense. There are just certain things you ask each other and you get to know, so that you could move together in tandem for the future. And I never heard it, and I still don't see it. They're in that teenager kind of phase of the relationship. So great question, but I don't think it applies to these 2. As for me, I could do the Sheryl Lee Ralph thing. I think I'd have a 50-year relationship. I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with it at all. Yes, that makes the visits fun.
What Sam means is Sheryl Lee Ralph and her husband live on different coasts. One lives on the West Coast, one lives on the East Coast, and we meet sometimes in between. Now, Trey, what are your thoughts on the question? I know you a traveling working man.
This question totally depends on the individual's thought proprietor, but it depends on the individual's own beliefs and whatnot. It's because genuinely, me personally, it'd be a no. But I cannot knock a situation where it's like this one, where both parties are agreed upon in that setting and they're both on the same wavelength. It could absolutely work for them. So it really depends on the individual and the individuals involved. Because what we have here, I do think we have a F boy that has found his perfect F girl. Yes, and I do think she is an F girl herself. So it could work.
My only thing is that this is not ready to play. This is ready. This is essentially like ready for marriage, in another sort of phrase. So the whole point is to get married, and I don't get that from either of them. So I just don't know why they got on this. That's my whole problem with this. Is like I don't understand why you came on the show if your end goal is to not. It's not seriously think about getting married at the end of it. So that's my whole pushback with this whole situation. But otherwise, do what you want to do. This was like, let's say, Love Island for like seniors. Okay, whatever.
Lord.
But I wouldn't care. But this is the end goal was marriage. So I don't understand the whole ready to play and get it in where you fit in and whenever you want it, like all the time. It's just that doesn't defeats the purpose of the show to me. So what's the point then of coming on? So I'll just end that there.
I think it's just an adventure for all of them. This whole thing, as we saw a few of them, only about 3 of them, we heard that their children signed them up for the show. So the children kind of put their parents in this position. So that's interesting to me. I mean, I like the fact that a lot of them, I think, is it Leo and Leica the only ones without kids? I can't remember the breakdown I had with each of the cast. I should have kept who had kids and who didn't. But I don't know why. We're not talking too much about Nivea and Ricardo. I think that is a very heavy situation. You know, the widow and the man who has the same name as her husband who passed away. I think, and he already said that those are big shoes to fill. I'm concerned for Ricardo and the fact that, you know, she may be replacing, as Ari said before, she may be replacing her deceased husband. And I'm concerned for her because Ricardo was with a woman long term and said, let's think about marriage. Yet he want to marry you in 10 days. Granted, he was in his 20s back then. But hey, he is still traveling. But maybe since she's her job requires her to travel too, it should be fine with the both of them. But I don't know. I'm concerned though. They're pegging them as the couple that has the least amount of waves, but for some reason I am concerned. Trey, what are your thoughts on Nivea and Ricardo?
My thoughts pretty much mirror yours. Yeah, they seem to have they seem to be the couple of the least resistance, but there are certain things that has happened in both of their lives separately that will affect them going forward together. You know, I'm trying to give Ricardo. I like Ricardo actually. I'm trying to give him grace. Like, listen, a lot of that happened in your early 20s. Like, you know, listen, you in your 50s now. You're a different man. You know, you're going to be more settled within yourself. You know what I'm saying? So maybe now he is to the point, you know what? You know, I think I could find some real companionship out of this situation. I don't know. It's because you know how I feel about this show, period. 99% of these people, you either sign up or you get recruited. Number one. So depending on which bin you fall in, it kind of colors how you're gonna react into the show.
Well, this one has kids that signed their parents up.
And that plays a big factor in this. You really didn't want this to begin with. The kids wanted you to do this. You know, so you know, how much effort is that person really going to give? Are they really going to get to this all? Probably not, because it's really not your choice. You're just going along with it. You know, so you have to take that into account. You know, but yeah, I do think he is very worried. I can see in his eyes, he is very worried that she is going to do everything that he does and compare it to her amazing relationship that she had with her husband. You know, and I think he likes her enough to not want to disappoint her. But that's a lot of pressure. You know, it's because it's always It already seemed like she is kind of judging everything that he does. Oh, my husband did that. Oh, it's just like my husband would. I'm like, all right, you gotta let this man be himself and judge him for that, not for what your husband did and stuff. That's just too much. It's too much.
But he did send her favorite flowers, though he did not know those were her favorite flowers.
And you know what? She should have never told him that. Well, no, you should have told him that, oh, this is my favorite flowers. That's cool. You didn't have to say it would be my husband knew this too. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Ooh, this too much. If you be your favorite flowers, oh, I got something right. That's cool. My husband got me these two. I'm like, oh, nah, don't do that. Because everything I'm doing, I'm already, in this situation, I would already understand that anything I might do, you're going to compare it to your husband. I'm already having this thought process in my head. I don't need you to tell me. And I just kind of put more on top of it. I'm like, oh, so yeah. So now you know that I know that you know that I know that you know. So we just know.
She could be romanticizing it and thinking that her husband who passed is coming through this Ricardo, coming through him like a seance kind of thing. She did give him a gift. I know I don't want that either. She did give him a gift, but again, I'm concerned with both of them. The underlying waves for both of them, I'm concerned, especially when she thought he was going to reject her when he was actually about to propose. It tells me she ain't reading the room. It tells me she ain't listening. It tells me that there's so much here that Nivea, I am concerned. And I wonder, sometimes it happens, not always. Sometimes a widow or widower romanticizes the relationship they had. And it's very hard to live up to the image of a ghost, especially one that's romanticized. She ain't remembering the hard times or the trying times. All she remember is this is her great love story. Yes, she will compare. She will compare him. Stick to the face cream and leave marriage alone. Not the face cream. No, Mundo Stranger. Oh my word. Oh my word. But those are our couples. I didn't know if anybody wanted to. Those are couples. I don't know if y'all wanted to tackle this group that didn't make it all the way. Anybody have some thoughts on Luciana, Mario, Fabio, and Justinelli?
Luciana did too much.
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, she was doing a little bit too much there. I mean, I get the feeling that her being free to talk about the spectrals is actually very true to her. I think that's really her and her personality. And that's fine. I think that is fine to do. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to assume she's easy. And that's why I think that played a part into why she had so many guys lined up in her roster, so to speak, because she was talking about the spectrals constantly. Well, I don't think that was a major factor as to why Mario decided to dip out, but I think it was the fact that she was a plus size girly, to be quite honest. But I think the reason why he actually liked her was because she was talking about the spectrals a lot. But that's just personally.
Yeah, he came off as a little dirty old man. I'm sorry, he came off that way, and I know that's probably not who he is. But all we saw on the camera time was his oohing and eyeing about Luciana and that talk. Yet Fabio, who is a lawyer in Brazil, okay, Fabio made his decision real quick for her. He wanted her. And she's like, I ain't done playing with the rest of this roster. I ain't done playing with the rest of my other toys. So I'm going to have to see you later. Sam, what were your thoughts about this love square?
So for Mario, I see it the same way as Ari and you, in the sense of he does gave off that kind of playboy vibes. I'm trying to be careful about how I say this. I'm always trying to not be offensive. I think that I admire Luciana's self-esteem and love for herself. The only thing I'm going to say, though, is that when you have that, you also have to balance that with societal's image of what they perceive to be attractive, which is horrible. And so I'm sure Mario was expecting someone that matched that kind of sexual energy that she was giving, that he didn't think would come in a plus size body. And I think that there wasn't anything wrong with the fact that he wasn't attracted to her, because we like what we like, we don't like what we don't like. But the way he handled it was horrible. Because I think at some point she actually looked at the camera like the producer and shrugged her shoulders like, okay, is that it? I felt for the woman in that point. I mean, there's a way you deal with, you sat down briefly, use that moment to say, you know what, I'm sorry, there's not an easy way to say that. I'm not sure if the vibe is there for me. The vibe check is off. That had to be better than just, are you going to be okay? Spinning around and walking away, never to be seen again. So I'm disappointed in how he handled it. I felt bad for her, though I admire her ability to feel good about herself. But again, with the exception of Fabio, I'm just getting this running current of unserious vibes with these folks. Again, if you're looking for something serious and you've lived a little, because you've lived long enough now to have children and your children have children, that kind of sexy, over-the-top overtness to where you're almost sexualizing yourself, quite frankly, I'm not sure. Again, if this is Love is Blind and you're headed towards a certain route, that makes sense to me. If you're, like you said, if this is Love is to play around, love is a hookup, temptation. But for this, I'm surprised that she hasn't evolved to a place where she understood that's probably not the foot I want to lead with. So Fabio is the only one that gets my my thumbs up.
I thought Justinelli too. She really wanted, marriage. I think she was a bit serious because she shut it down.
I barely remember her. Sorry about that. I barely remember.
Yeah, she shut it down. She's 54, Mario 66. She shut it down when he was talking all of that, and she said she don't want her man talking like that, to female friends and other women. It's a little too much for her. She says she's not a prude, but it's just a little too much for her. And he just was like, he ain't gonna stop flirting. He ain't gonna stop being who he is. And she kind of set aside, but she is aesthetically what he's looking for.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, Fabio made his choice. As you said, Fabio said, you are for me. And as Moondust Angel said earlier in the chat, Fabio, the way he left was very gracious and graceful.
Yeah, he stood on business. It wasn't what it was, and he departed, and I agree. I think that was but he's the only one that I kind of stood behind. The rest, the jury is still out.
Jury's still out. Right, you stood behind him, and he ain't still on the show.
And he's not on the show. I don't see. This is not the time to make predictions, I guess. This is too early. That's in the next live chat.
Yeah, that's in the next live chat. We gotta wait. We gotta see how they move in, meet each other's family. But let me ask you this. I was worried about Luciana, that maybe she may find a partner in the women's lounge.
Oh, I didn't consider that.
I forgot she said that she wasn't in another relationship with the woman. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she was. So I was concerned that she playing these men, but she was actually looking, in the direction of the ladies. That was where I was like, production, please don't play her like this if this happens. So I was like, okay, she made a decision. She wants to get married to a gentleman, but what if she finds a lady in this woman's lounge?
I mean, she still could. She still could. To be honest, we don't know.
We don't know
what happens in the future episodes, so she could.
Or at the mixer, she might mix it up.
She might, and this is again, groundbreaking, stuff for Love is Blind Brazil. Again, here's a lady that is very open with the fact that she has had a same-sex relationship, and I loved it. I loved how she talked about it. I love how Luciana is very open to discussing things. I really, really liked her a lot. I didn't like at all. Mario's on my ish list because of how he treated her. But
Yeah.
I really, really, really liked Luciana. And I'm like, y'all really did her wrong. But Trey, what are your thoughts on this quartet?
Luciana, she led with her sexuality too much in all of her conversations. Number one, it's fine to talk about. I understand she's sexual free, but in every conversation she was leading with it. So it seemed like that's the only thing you had of value. What's your sexuality? You already setting yourself up to be treated a certain type of way. Okay. I have a bone to pick with her when it comes to Fabio, though. A lot of this is not Fabio's fault. I do think he went too early, too soon, made a mistake. But in this particular situation, it actually wasn't his fault. Luciana led him straight into it. And I'm going to quote right quick, well, somewhat half a quote. When she first met him, I had a statement, yes. You can't tell a man that, ooh, Fabio, you're my husband because of signs. Because you said my husband's going to be named with an F and all this, that, third. You know, and then get upset at him for choosing you because he believed in your signs.
He believed in you.
Yeah,
yes.
You set him up for this. You know, the way he started talking to him off rip. I had a sign that, you know, he believes in astrology just like you, just that third. It's like, I had a sign that my husband name will be with an F, and you're the only man in here that names will start with an F. And y'all seem to get along. So in his head, he's like, oh, wow, this is great. I like her. We get along. We talk great. I'm locked in. And told you he was locked in with you. And she got upset about that. That he told her that. I thought it was weird. I was like, whoa, that's weird. What are you doing? I understand you want to play the game, play your field, but the way she handled him, I don't think was gracious at all. You know, which leads to karma. When things turn around, when you and Mario, everybody won't be upset of how he handled her. Honestly, I can sense the embarrassment of it all, but he didn't. It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Oh, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't, but it could have been way worse.
Yeah, it could have been way worse. He was actually being somewhat gracious. He just lays a note for me. I find you beautiful. I think you're great, but it's just, no, it's not attractive, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank God he didn't force it, like, you know what, let's just say yes, no. I didn't find you attractive. It ain't going to work for me. Keep it moving.
But he ain't even stood there and let the door close, Trey. He went all the way to the back. Not just the back. He went to the back.
We got to get up out of here. It's time to get up out of here. Ain't no use hanging around. Just get up out of here. It's time to go.
And it does give the fact that you don't even want to stand there and let the doors close and even look in her direction.
He said, adios, Kiki. Sorry.
Out of here.
I never saw you saying that.
It could have been better, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. When I saw his face look at her, I said, oh, nope, it ain't going to work.
I'm glad she read the room. I'm glad she gave him the rings. I made him make the decision on camera.
Yeah, even when she mistake notes, ladies, okay, listen, we saw this on Maths this past season in Chicago. I'm sorry, you can't run around and start grabbing certain men's faces and force kisses on them. Got to be careful who you do that with, okay? Some men might like it. Some men gonna be like, oh, that's a little off-putting. I don't even know you like that. Why are you grabbing my face and trying to kiss me? If I had done that to you, it would have been an issue.
She pulled his hair too, Trey.
It would have been. It turned me off watching it. I was like, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Cause I saw her when her hands came out. I was like, oh God, she's gonna do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. She did.
So what I'm hearing is you are traumatized, right?
I wasn't
Probably.
traumatized. I just saw the mistake coming before the mistake happened. I was like, don't do this to
Okay.
yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Now it's different
Yeah.
if you confirm this is the type of man you could do that with.
Right.
Cool. But the whole conversation she had with Mario, this is what I said from it. She was trying to find ways to dominate him in that conversation.
Okay.
All
She
things.
sent him the fuzzy cup.
Yeah. If you notice, she only did that because you notice when they started talking, there was into some. She discovered that they was into some of the same sexual things together.
Yes.
From that moment on, she tried to dominate him, and he wasn't biting because he told her, "I'm usually the more dominant one." She saw that as a challenge. Oh, really? I wonder if I could dominate you. And it was ever since then I started noticing. I was like, she's doing too much. She's doing too much. Relax.
She was. She did a lot.
And flipping it on to what is it? How you pronounce the name? Is it Utensinel? How you say that?
Ustinelli.
Nelly. Ultimately, I think she made the correct choice, but I'm going to push back and say the choice really wasn't because of what Mario said. It was because of what Cena had said. Before Lucina played her, and she fell right into it. Lucina was in the lounge gossiping the conversation that she was having with Mario, not the other way around.
Right.
Cena started that. And it got to the point where since they were having that conversation, Houstonella was like, oh my God, I didn't know he was like that. You know, okay. So when she went to a conversation with him, she started asking leading questions to challenge his sexuality. And he just answered them like it was just, oh, okay. Where in his mind, I can see him like, okay, our conversation is not turning into a different avenue. Well, let's walk down it. He didn't understand that. No, she was judging him off of that avenue.
Right.
But all beforehand, they was having well-placed conversations that fit them. He didn't go down a sexual role conversation with her because she didn't give that off. So you're not going to go down that path. Lucina gave that off day one. So a lot of the conversations, sexual conversations. You know, so some of that, like I said, I think she probably made the best choice for her, maybe. But to me, I think she shot herself in her own foot. Because who knows? They probably could have been the best match out of there.
But he would still want to talk that kind of, sexual stuff with his friends. And she doesn't want to talk about that out in the open.
That was the key point, and I do get what she was saying. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little on the fence about it. And the only reason I'm on the fence about it is because, let me see, I do have a female friend. We've been friends for 15 going 20 years now. Nothing sexual that has ever happened between us. I don't see her that way. She's just my friend. But we can talk very openly to each other about just about anything. She talks to me openly about the guys she dating to get my advice on them, and I do it vice versa to her. So in some ways, I can be very expressive with her. Hey, man, this is what I'm thinking about right now, blah, blah, blah. She would accept it, and we would discuss it and give me some good advice. Like, you know what? You probably should talk that about with her, or you probably should say it this way, blah, blah, blah. So in some ways, I get what he was saying, but the way he was coming off, he sounded like he had some extracurricular things happening with his friends.
Like he's flirty. Like he's flirty.
Yeah.
But remember, Mario's face dropped with Ustinelli when she said she brought up his conversation with Luciana and how it was hot and heavy. And I was like, oh, Mario, you thought your playing wasn't getting around in the women's lounge. I think he started to sweat to say, well, what else did Luciana tell you?
Exactly.
She told everything, apparently. So
she did. She was running her mouth, and that might have led to him ultimately saying no as well. Like, you talk too much. You talk too much. Sure. He didn't propose to her. She proposed to him. You know what I'm saying? So
now, Trey, he did say yes.
You right. he wanted to see. You know, we got this far. Let me at least look at it and see what's going on.
Not let him look at it.
Well, no, I think that's true though. I think that's true.
I'm telling
Like
you,
as soon as the doors open, his face dropped. Like
Drop.
not a drop. It cracked. It cracked.
if she would have looked like Usanelli, he would have went through with it.
Oh heck yeah.
Or like the whole the male host's wife. If she looked like her, telling you he would have gone for it 100%.
Nope. But like I said before, I cannot blame him for saying no. If you're not attracted, don't force it, because you might be in a situation like you got Leo and Leica.
Uh-huh.
He just handled it horribly, because like you say, if you're not attracted, don't push him through. But you've got to, just the way he handled it.
Yeah, I can. The only part, maybe it's just me. The only part that I think he didn't handle well was, which y'all pointed out, when the doors closed, he just kept going. He was just like, "Nah, I ain't even."
The doors didn't close, Trey. The doors were still open.
Yeah.
He just out of there.
You flee. You're supposed to come back. You're supposed to stand at the doors and let it close on you. He didn't even stand. He flee. He was like, I got a plane to catch.
Yes. Now that I thought was a little crass. So like, come on, bro. You know.
Because he didn't touch her, did he? There was no hug. There was no handshake. They briefly sat. He asked her if she was going to be okay, and that was it, right?
She walked up. He had his hands in front of him, crossed in front of him. He walked up. She did this. I went, no, don't do it. Grabbed his face. Started kissing him, tried to give him tongue. I was like, he ain't into it.
He's not into that. Yeah.
And she pulled his hair. Well, Mon Ami, thank you for subscribing. I hope you will continue to join us. We're covering Love is Blind Brazil. We're covering France. And all the other international Love is Blind is on this channel. So take a look around. Argentina, Mexico, Sweden, UK, Habibi. I didn't realize how many versions I have covered until I was going through my thumbnails. And I'm like, wait a minute. We've been around the world in aye. But welcome, Mon Ami. Glad to have you here. We have a lot of other shows other than Love is Blind, even, shows just produced for the channel. But I'm liking Brazil. I'm loving Brazil. Has always been, as I always say, innovative for me. Whether the people are doing something completely different than the others, like Mario walking completely out, like Revo trying to switch which partner he came with. They have always given us something totally different. And I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying it. I thought that France was going to outpace them, or they weren't even going to be in the running. But I have to say, the cast of Brazil, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. I was pleasantly surprised that the over 50 crew is as entertaining, if not as much as the others. Okay. Absolutely love them. So I want to get the panel. What are your last thoughts? Either what has happened, what are you looking forward to for this season? Because we will be back, y'all, next week, Sunday, same time, 5:05 EST, for another week of Love is Blind Brazil Live. But let's start with Sam. What are you looking forward to, or what did you like especially about this 4 episodes?
Sure. Well, what I'm looking forward to, I'll answer that first, the second part first. I'm looking forward to seeing now what happens when some cracks begin to show. What does that look like? And is it something that looks like it's going to be something they can overcome? I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when they have the mixer, when they bring everybody to the table. So I'm excited to see the dynamic of what that looks like. And then in terms of what I've liked so far about for the first 4, I feel like you do. I love the fact that they brought in a diverse group. I love the fact that this is a different age category. And I also love, I guess, finally, the fact that it's taught me my ignorance, and that I just assumed that with age comes evolvement and maturity. And Not necessarily. It's definitely a personality thing, not an age thing. So I'm a little surprised by some of the, I call them antics of these folks. And so I'm learning that don't just assume that because people are in a certain season that means A, B, or C, because it may or may not. So thank you. Those are my thoughts, and I had fun today. So thanks to you and the panel in the
Awesome.
chat. Yeah,
I hope you will be back with us next week.
absolutely.
Definitely.
And I hope I don't mess up again. Just be patient with me when I'm trying to.
We will, Sam. We'll give you practice tomorrow too at the members live. Okay, we're gonna give you a little practice there too.
Practice.
I'm gonna have Ari, and then I'll have Trey round it out because Trey could always, bring us home. Ari, what are your thoughts? What are you looking forward to?
What I really liked, well, I'll start off with that, is that I hate when these franchises, or this particular franchise, waits until like either later on in the episode or like the middle of the next episode to do the whole reveals. And with the exception of Lucelma and Mario R, they pretty much had all of these people meet. Like, we saw the engagement and then straight away the reveal. So that's what I really loved about that. What I'm looking forward to, because like Sam said earlier, I don't, unlike France, I didn't make any predictions, as far as, at least I tried not to, for these people. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how they get along in the quote unquote real world, if you want to call it that. I mean, as much of the real world as they can get, like back to their like normal lives as much as they can get, and seeing what happens with them. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So maybe hopefully we'll have more context of, trying to make a prediction next week. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome. Trey, what are you looking forward to? What did you like so far?
If Brazil has always been probably one of the better versions of the show. If I'm correct, does the Brazil have the most couples that stay together?
Yeah, so far, and have kids. Yeah, so far.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, every season they average at least 2 to 3 that stay together. And that's high, for this type of show, especially compared to the other versions. Extremely high. So whatever they're doing, they're still very successful at it down there. So, always enjoy Brazil for that. What I'm looking forward to, I do think, well, 2 things. I want to see how Sylvia is going to navigate trying to get some ping from Revo, because she didn't get it, and I don't think he's going to give it up. That was, I hate to say it, but that was comical to me. She was so shocked. It's like, oh my God, that's never happened to me before. I was like, ooh, well, it has now. But also, I think Revo is going to be successful in wooing Luca away from Leo. I think he's going to be successful at it. I think she's going to fold like a lawn chair.
Not like a lawn chair.
He's going to pack her right up and carry her right on out.
I was eating dinner, and I'm eating dinner, and I almost choked, Trey. So thank you.
You should know better when we get together than to be eating or sipping on anything. Okay,
it's my dinner time. Calm down.
But I agree. I think that Revo may be successful, and I'm excited to see that if it happens. Okay, will Leo and Leica move in, or will Revo and Leica move in together? We don't know. They have done that before in Argentina. They have done that before in other versions where who you came with ain't necessarily who you moved into the apartment with. So that's why we're saying something like that. It ain't never happened in the US version, and it ain't happened in the 2 seasons of the UK version, but it has happened in Brazil and Argentina before, and Argentina only got one season.
I do think Leo and Leica are going to move in together. Will it stay that way? Because I don't know if it'll happen, but if Leo even gets a hint that if he gets a hint to any of the things that Leica has said about him, I think he's going to be done. He's going to quietly walk away. Now, where that happened, I don't know.
But I will have to walk away, Trey, because you just told everybody on international television that my stroke game is weak.
Yeah, he should walk away now, but he doesn't know, so he can't.
He wants that letter. He wants that letter, and we want the letter too. We want to know what Leica wrote in that letter, and whether it's breakup or not. And she said not yet. But y'all, it has been wonderful. We are at a just over 2-hour mark. It has been great. Love is Blind Brazil has been excellent. It is giving all that I wanted to give and then some. My over 50 has certainly not disappointed me. I can't wait for the mixer. I can't wait for the weddings. I can't wait for the kids and grandkids to meet. That to me is another layer that Love is Blind has not explored until this season. But y'all, please make sure that you are subscribed. You have liked the live, okay? Make sure that if you wish to join the membership, we do weekly member lives where we get a little bit raunchy. It's over 18 over, please. On Monday nights at 8. But definitely Love is Blind Brazil is going to stay at 5:05 EST on Sundays. And France Love is Blind is going to be at noon on Saturdays. So thank you all so much for being here. And I will see you on the next one.